let this be.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Follow me on Twitter at Gamecocks Talk. Follow me on Instagram at Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. And wherever you may get your podcast, you can find Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. We got a good one today, y'all. I said we got a good one today, y'all. We are talking about three things that went right versus the Clemson Tigers women basketball team on last night. Three things. Before we get started, I just got to let you know, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Three things that went right versus a beatdown over the Clemson Tigers on last evening. Clemson, Little John Coliseum, about 5,000 people there, and proceeded to get whooped by South Carolina at 5:00 p.m. yesterday. Okay, South Carolina now has a winning streak of 43 straight games. Unbelievable winning streak. And you have teams now who are giving everything they got against South Carolina. We're getting everybody's best shot. Make no mistake about it. Somebody wants to be the first team to stop that winning streak. Somebody wants to be the first team to put that L on that column. Well, it wasn't Clemson. Let's be clear about that. Clemson Tigers lost handedly. And a few things that went right in yesterday's game was Ashton Watkins is starting to look like Ashlyn Watkins. Watkins missed a good portion of I would say training camp because of the incident and the arrest and all those things. We don't have to dive deep into what happened with that situation, but she missed a good portion of training camp and conditioning and timing and all those great things. But she's now rounding into shape physically, mentally. Her timing is coming back. In a game like last night, Watkins played 20 minutes. That's pretty much what she played last year. Last season, she played 20.1 minutes per basketball game. Last night, she played 20 minutes, right on par with what she played last season. She had 10 points, 11 rebounds, her first double-double of the season. Ashton Watkins played good basketball last night. Throw in, 2 block shots. You throw in 4 for 8 from the field. How about this right here? 2 for 2 from the free throw line. This is Ashton Watkins. Okay. And what Ashton Watkins brings to South Carolina at 6'3", and her jumping ability and her size and ability to defend is a situation where South Carolina can get in this bag of tricks and defend like nobody else in the country. Mm-hmm. Now, with Watkins, she did have three fouls. So we have to mention that. She had 3 fouls in 20 minutes, and she has to stay out of foul trouble, especially in the big games where we need her on the floor. But over the course of the 4 games that she's played in, you talk about 16 minutes, 7 points, shooting 55% from the field, 75% from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, averaging 2 block shots per basketball game, a very solid offensive rating of 111.6, but her defensive rating right now is 63.2. 63.2 defensive rating for any basketball player, especially a player in the post, is unbelievable. We have the best defender in the country back on this basketball team, and the best defender in the country is getting back to how she was this past season. Ashton Watkins is a truth teller. Ashton Watkins is a revealer. Ashton Watkins will reveal how good your offense is. Ashton Watkins will reveal how good your post players are. Because we have a game on the horizon against UCLA in LA, top 5, matchup, and going against the one and only Lauren Betts, 6'7" Lauren Betts, who's right now averaging 29 minutes, 22 points, 12 rebounds, couple of block shots a game, couple assists a game, 3 turnovers a game. But she is a immovable object, if you will. But she's playing against a defense with Ashlyn Watkins back in the fold. It's going to be a team effort against Betts, obviously. But if we can get 20 to 25 minutes of solid, great defensive effort from Ashlyn Watkins on Lauren Betts and staying out of foul trouble, we will win the basketball game. We'll win the basketball game. I want to say it just like that. We defend Lauren Betts, which I know we will. We will. And you have the folks over say, well, Cat, we ain't got no 6'7" player to play against Lauren Betts. Okay. All right. Got it. We don't. But we have the best defender in the country in the post. We have one of the best defenders in the conference in Chloe Kitts. We have one of the best defenders in the conference in Joyce Edwards. We still have 6'5" Adhel Tac. We still have 6'6" Akima Walker. We have Maryam Dauda, who's 6'4". South Carolina is the biggest basketball team in the country. Make no mistake about it. South Carolina is the biggest, most talented basketball team in the United States of America. Okay? Please don't forget that. A major key to victory against UCLA is Ashlyn Watkins staying on the court. Unbelievable importance of her staying on the court. A second thing that went right in last night's game and has been going right since she started basketball at the University of South Carolina a short time ago is the emergence of one Maddy McDaniel. Maddy McDaniel is a great problem. She presents a great problem for the University of South Carolina, the three-time national champions. Last night victory, Maddy played 13 minutes, had 7 points, had 1 assist, had 1 rebound, 0 turnovers. Wonderful defense. She is the epitome of what I want in a point guard. She is. She has played for the season 16 minutes per basketball game. She's averaging 4 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, less than 1 turnover per game, 1 steal, shooting 83% from the field. Okay? Her offensive rating in 16 minutes of play is 144.1. 16 minutes of play. This is not 5 minutes of play. This is 16 minutes per basketball game. Is Maddy McDaniel, and her offensive rating is 144.1. Her defensive rating is 73.1. So not only with her 16 minutes a game is she the highest rated player offensively on this basketball team because she doesn't commit turnovers. She's shooting a high percentage. She has a high assist to turnover rate. And she's playing over 15 minutes a game. And I say that because for players over 15 minutes per basketball game because last season, I always highlighted the players from South Carolina played 15 minutes per game. You know, you can get a better sample size because Carolina players are going to play between 15 and 25, maybe 26, 27 minutes per basketball game. But 15 minutes for our team is a lot of minutes. It may not be a lot of minutes for UCLA. It may not be a lot of minutes for LSU or UConn or Southern Cal, all those teams, because, you know, their star players play upwards of 35 minutes per basketball game. But Carolina plays everybody. And 16 minutes per basketball game with an offensive rating of 144.1 and a defensive rating of 72.1 is outstanding on so many levels. So the dilemma that South Carolina has is you have to play her. You have to play her. You have to play Maddy McDaniel. She is playing so well, she has demanded that you put her on the floor. And now she's one of the first players to come off the bench. Who saw that coming? I did. Because she's a star. The 14th ranked recruit in the class of 2024, number 2 ranked point guard in this class, the 8th ranked guard in this class in the country, is a dog. She is a baller. Now, the dilemma that we have is Raven Johnson's in the middle. I ain't saying the middle, is in a slump through 5 basketball games. She's shooting about 20% from the field. Last night, Raven has played. I'm not even gonna say about last night. I'm gonna talk more so about Raven for the season. And for the season, Raven's averaging about 25 minutes per game, about 3 points, 4 assists, about 4 assists, 6 rebounds. She's the best rebounding guard in the SEC. But she's shooting 20%. 20%. Her offensive rating is 81.5. That's the lowest of her career. 81.5 is the lowest offensive rating on this basketball team. One of the lowest offensive ratings of guards in the SEC. Her defense is still really good. She has a defensive rating of 75.1. But with Raven in this slump and 0 for 13 at the three-point line, and seems to be dealing with a little bit of confidence because the shot isn't going in right now. You have Maddy McDaniel, who's waiting to tag in. She will come out of her shooting slump. Ladies and gentlemen, Raven Johnson will be Raven Johnson again, okay? Last season, 44% from the field, 35% for 3. She has not forgotten how to shoot the basketball. Come on now. But right now, she isn't, and we talking about my favorite basketball player on this team. Y'all, if y'all follow Captain Will, if you knew Captain Will, Raven Johnson is my favorite basketball player on this team. And then team to pop out. It's a close 1-2. It's the Road Warriors back in the day in the 80s, okay? So, but she's not playing well. But the luxury, like I said before, is that you have Maddy McDaniel, who is playing well, who's averaging 16 minutes per basketball game. Raven Johnson will play against UCLA. She will start. We know that. And I was telling my wife last night when watching the game, I said, hey, Raven's going to ball out on Sunday. It's a big game. She's going to ball out. I believe she is going to play very well. And then the notion of Raven Johnson can't shoot this season will go away when she puts in work against UCLA. She has a game where she has about 14 points, shoot about, say, three-pointers and plays well defensively. Then we can move on from this mess, right? But if she does not, and she continues into this slump that she's in, Maddy McDaniel is going to play more. She has to. She has to. But I believe in Raven, and I think she's going to play well on Sunday. The third thing is this defense is still elite now. Make no mistake about it. This defense is still the truth. Okay, so no, we don't have Kamilla Cardozo. And for a period of time, we did not have Ashton Watkins. And now we're getting the version of Ashlyn Watkins who looks more like we saw last season. But Sania Feagin is balling out defensively. Shout out to her. Chloe Kitts is balling out defensively. Shout out to her. Joyce Edwards. And we just talking about post players. Okay? So, against Clemson, who's a Power 5 team, Clemson, who was ranked in the net ranking of 91st in the country, Clemson shot 26% from the field. Okay? South Carolina caused 19 turnovers. We got, what is it? 6 steals, 9 block shots. Come on now. That's exceptional defense against a Power 5 team. This wasn't a scrub. This wasn't a Rudy Pook. This wasn't a type team that ranked 300th in the nation. It wasn't those type situations. You got a lot of teams that hasn't played anyone in the top 100. You got a few teams who are ranked high in this top 25 who ain't played nobody within the top 200. And then they getting all this shine and all this glory, talking about what they're doing. Okay, gotcha. Let's see what happens when you actually play somebody. South Carolina allowed 45 points against Clemson. Clemson's going to win a lot of basketball games this season. Yeah. East Carolina, they shot 38% from the field. Yeah. 38% from the field. We caused 27 turnovers. Wait, with 19 steals? 5 blocks? Gave up 44 points? East Carolina came in second in their conference last season. East Carolina is going to win a lot of basketball games. They're currently ranked 116th in the net ranking according to that formula. They're going to win a lot of games. They're probably coming second or third in their conference again. I'm saying that because we're not stacking games against inferior opponents and stacking stats because of that. We will find out a lot about this basketball team. I ain't going to say we will find out a lot about this basketball team because we have already found out a lot about this basketball team because of the schedule that we play at right now through 5 games. Okay, so open up against Michigan, who will make the tournament. Next is North Carolina State, who will go far in the tournament. Playing a team like Clemson, playing a team like, East Carolina. Got UCLA coming up. Iowa State. Purdue. Duke. TCU. Oh, we are this first 10 games for the South Carolina basketball team is the hardest 10 games than any other schedule in the country. Any other schedule. Okay? But our defense will come to play every game. Don said that our defense is further ahead than the offense. Yes, that's true. The defensive rating right now is 74.4. Last season's defensive rating was 76.6. Now, that includes all the games, 38-0, so that also includes the games in the tournament where we was wrecking shop, but also played, since some amazing basketball teams. But the defensive rating is what it is through 5 basketball games. The field goal percentage for this basketball team giving up on defense is 34.5. Last year was 36 points. It was 32% last year. So still right there. Offensive rebound is actually ahead. Offensive rebound percentage is actually ahead this year than it was last year. And that's with Camille Cardoso. Okay. This team is wonderful defensively. I don't know what the score is going to be against UCLA, but I know we're going to play well defensively. I don't know if our shot's going to be on Sunday, but we will carry. The defense travels. Offense may not travel, but defense travels, and it will travel to UCLA. But in terms of Clemson, last night, in terms of that dominance of this basketball team, because I had a cat who hit me up and said, Cap, I don't know how this team does it. I don't understand why. How this team continues to win, and we don't have like all Americans, and we don't have all SEC players and all these different things. Like, Cap, I don't understand. Like the teams go to an abyss. I mean, seriously, the players go to an abyss. These high Dawn Staley get all these highly rated players, and they go to this abyss of individual stats and things like that. And I was like, oh, pump your brakes, slow down a little bit. And then he's continuing on talking about, that the player that Southern Cal, we were talking about Juju, and the player Notre Dame talking about Hannah Hidalgo, and he even made a mention of that girl from Iowa. Somebody talking about Caitlin Clark. So I was like, yeah, those players are way better than players that we have. I was like, first off, South Carolina's a team. Okay? There's a reason Carolina's won two championships in the last 4 years. There's a reason why Carolina has multiple players drafted into the WNBA. It's the reason why we are champions. The reason is because our players sacrifice their individual stats for the glory of winning a championship. Carolina does not have players who are going to play 35, 37 minutes in a basketball game. It ain't going to happen. When you have 12 players who are 5-star recruits, it won't happen. But what ends up happening for South Carolina is when teams sub out. Make sure you look at that. When Carolina's playing, and this is from the homeboy who DM me, make sure you look at that when we playing these teams. Because eventually you got to sub. And when you go to the bench, because most of these top level teams only playing about 7.5 players per game. So when you get tired and your player is used to playing 35 minutes a game, but they got to play Carolina, who substitutes all the time, and not having a drop off. This is the way Carolina wins basketball games over and over and over again. Carolina takes out a Raven Johnson, and a MiLaysia Fulwiley comes in the game. 5-star recruit, 5-star recruit. Okay, then a Tahina Papa comes out the game, and a Tessa Johnson goes into the game, 5-star recruit for 5-star recruit. Then you say a MiLaysia Fulwiley come out the basketball game. You got a Maddy McDaniel comes out the game. We just talking about guards. 5-star recruit for 5-star recruit. Some of these other teams, the reason they play their 5-star recruits 35, 36 minutes a game, because you have a lot of girls on their teams who don't play. Even they're on scholarship, they don't play. This is the reason, my brother. Carolina does it differently. And Carolina wins all the time. Individual accolades are found out when they are drafted into the WNBA, not in the season. Because you have a lot of players who play those minutes and make these accolades, but don't sniff the WNBA. That's not Carolina. It's not Carolina. Until next time. This includes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will as I continue to bring that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will.
J-Rock, let this beat.